107.5. You're on the Toast Breakfast Show. It's got 23 past 8. A new one from Calvin Harris, Awooga. I do have her on the line. Took me a while to figure out this damn phone in the studio, but she is here, Natalia Scott, all the way from the UK. Thank you for joining us this morning, Natalia.
Hey, good morning.
It is your Tuesday night, sorry.
Yeah, Tuesday night it is, indeed.
Awesome, awesome. So being from New Zealand originally, had you heard of Up FM before, well now?
No, I haven't. Is that bad? No. I've been away for 10 years, so it's been a while since I tuned into any Kiwi stations, but yeah. I'm very grateful to you guys for having me, that's for sure.
Oh, no worries at all. We're quite proud to have you on here as well, so that's all right. But I'll start off basically from the top. So for people who may not have heard your name before or don't know too much about you, you're a Taranaki girl, made it all the way to the UK, doing amazing things over there. So can you give us a little bit of a rundown where you came from, how it's all happened?
Okay, well, I moved from Taranaki down to Christchurch, and when I was down in Christchurch I got into drum and bass and started a promotions company with DJ Moses, and we worked alongside people like Pylon and Solid Stay, and we worked in collaboration with people like Dave Roper and Pressure, and just putting on parties over in New Zealand. And I always loved rapping, and I always loved like the power of words and obviously singing. And when we first brought over like our first MC to one of the first drum and bass parties, I was like, I want to do that. And for me, it seemed like something that no other woman was really doing, and something that could be really different and quite unique to me. And so I kind of worked hard in New Zealand and kind of went as far as I could, and then I went to Australia and started MCing over there. And then while I was there, I went to a Represent gig and was backstage at the after party and met Roni Size, and just kind of bowled up to him and just was really open and said, hey, this is what I do and I really love your music. I mean, I was a massive fan of Full Cycle as well, which really helped. And he just asked me to MC in his ear, which I did, and he loved it. He pulled me on stage, and I MC'd with him and Dynamite. And then from there, it had always been my intention to go to the UK. I sort of thought I was just going to turn up and find these guys, and say, hey, you need me to work for you. But fate kind of brought them to me. I guess I must have manifested it in some way, because they said to me, come to the UK and work with us. So I did. And 10 years later, I'm still here and ready to come home, I think.
You're ready to come home. Oh, well, you've done great things. Can you go back to your MC style? Can you tell me more about your style in terms of being an MC? You just mentioned, hip-hop roots and all that sort of stuff, but you're a freestyler as well, and you can definitely rock a show. I was actually watching some videos of you last night. Yeah, no, nothing but compliments from Michael. No?
Yeah, I think the freestyling thing is I think it's something that's definitely I've become better at as I've grown into my style and myself over the years. Kind of like I just find it easier to just kind of feel the crowd, feel the moment, and kind of MC about that, and just, I don't know, I kind of think if you've got set rhymes, it can be good because the crowd can sing along with what you're doing, but I also think you can't, it's like when a DJ picks a tune selection, right? You can't kind of judge how the crowd's going to be. You have to sort of play for them, and I feel MCing's the same. And time and again, I just see so many MCs go out there and just do the same stuff over and over again, and I'm just like, boring, man. It's like, say something, say something different, move the crowd, so I also, sing in my sets as well, which again kind of makes it sort of more unique to what most MCs do. So yeah, that's pretty much my style, singing and freestyling.
Have you had many influences that you've kind of taken from them, or have you just developed your own style from scratch?
I think everybody's definitely influenced, whether or not they know it. I mean, I think growing up, I was really influenced by a lot of female hip-hop MCs, like Dimple C and Queen Latifah and Salt and Pepper, and then as I got more into dance music, Dynamite was always my favourite. MC Dynamite, I always thought I loved the way he was really positive and he projected his voice and he really connected with the crowd. I also love Garrison's another one I really, really love because he's a really good singer and MC, and again, he's like a party guy. He has a good time, So yeah, they're my main kind of influences, I think.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So you've been in pretty hot demand as well. I mean, working with some massive artists, had some massive artists banging on your door, wanting collaborations. Roni Size, DJ Mark, the Freestylers is another one. So can you tell us more about that?
Well, I think like a lot of all of those collaborations, pretty much every collaboration I've done has been built on sort of a relationship I would have had with that person first. So like a friendship I would have created with them, or met them at parties and spoken to them and took the time, you know, to get to know them. I kind of find it sometimes strange working with people you've never met, and so my new album has been like a real learning experience, because I've actually been collaborating with artists not just from the UK but also from Europe, Austria, and where are those other guys from? Czech, I think. And it's been really interesting because obviously I've never met them, I don't know their vibe, and the only vibe I'm really going off is their music. But that actually is enough, it turns out, because I've been making some really cool music with them as well for the album. But generally most of the relationships I have with the producers are friendships I've already forged, like the Dirtyphonics. They have a tune on my album. It's actually the flip side to the single Lost in the Game, and they're from Paris, and I just sort of met them, went to Paris, hung out, made music, went for dinner, made some more music, you know. And I think that when you vibe off people, you do have a better outcome, because you can really hear that in the music. So it's been amazing. It's been definitely amazing, and I've really appreciated everyone that's wanted to work with me, definitely.
Yeah, you've certainly sounded like you've grabbed it by the throat, so to speak. I mean, it is definitely an industry. So many people say, you know, you shouldn't burn your bridges in this industry.
Well, sorry, say that again?
You shouldn't burn your bridges in this industry.
No, you definitely need to treat everybody with grace and respect and, you know, appreciation for what they do. I mean, there's definitely different forms of music out there that I may not enjoy myself, and I may not particularly like the way that music is marketed, for example. But, you know, you can't discredit people for doing what they love and what they're passionate about. And, you know, I sort of think it's all very well to have an opinion, but I think you can be careful in the way you project that opinion. And I'm all for positivity and appreciating people regardless of what they do that's different to me, because not everybody likes my music, do you know what I mean? But I think if you're a good person and you're a positive person, people will come back and knock on your door. They will want to work with you again, because well, you know, nobody wants to work with somebody who's rude, you know.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's definitely all about building them, not burning them.
Yeah. So okay. So about this release, we'll move on. This album sampler coming out 18th of April, I think, is when it comes out on vinyl and for download.
Right.
Yeah, it's got 2 tracks on it. Am I right? It's
got the single Lost in the Game and the flip side. The single Dark Days, and the flip side is Lost in the Game.
And you've worked with some pretty amazing producers, with Dirtyphonics and Ed Rush on both those tracks.
Yeah, man. Remember Ed Rush when he first came to New Zealand? He was like just some little kid with a shaved head, and he is wicked. He is such a cool guy. I've got a really cool working relationship with Ed Rush. I've travelled, done a few tours with him, like to Las Vegas, and he took me to the blackjack table and stuff like that. He is a funny guy. He's a great chef. So, like, again, it's, you know, a good friendship that's been forged, and through that we've made a wicked track. And when we worked on the tune together, he sort of said to me, you know, I want to do something that's different. I want to do something that shakes people's boots a bit and makes them sit up and take notice. And I think he has achieved that with Dark Days, because obviously it being a sort of a dubstep influenced tune, I don't think people sort of saw that coming from Ed Rush. Maybe from me, but definitely not from him. So I think it's worked. I think he's made some people sit up and take notice.
That's awesome. And so this album sampler comes out on the 18th of April. When is the actual album release?
Well, I think we're going to do another single release. The second single is going to be a drum and bass tune, I think, because we've got some really real goodies on the album. Few people, other people contributed, like Lynx, Benny Page, and Schism, Shimon. So there's a few drum and bass pieces on there that I think deserve a look. So we'll probably do a second single, and then the album, I think we're talking about maybe August. Awesome. Yeah, I think August will probably be a good time, because it's summer over here, and people are more likely to hear it out at the festivals with my new live band and things like that. So yeah.
And you're not a New Zealander if you don't love summer and drum and bass. They definitely do go hand in hand, along with a few bevies,
exactly.
of course. But along with a few bevies, of course.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what's in store for you for the future? Obviously, the album will come out in August, and have you got any plans to return to New Zealand in the near future? Should say the next year or so.
Well, I'm actually at the moment. I've got another job at the moment. I'm composing music for a musical that is currently in production and opens at the end of this month. So I'm really, really busy trying to get the album done and compose music for this musical, which is like a whole new kind of forte thing for me as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
But after that's over, then it will be summer and touring. I've got a live and acoustic band, and we play tunes off the album, like we tune like drum and bass and dubstep into these acoustic numbers, which is awesome. And we've got Glastonbury, Lawnfest, SMS in Croatia, Montenegro, maybe Sun and Bass in Sardinia. We're trying to get that as well. So we've got a lot of touring over the summer. And then the big news, me and my husband are moving back to New Zealand in November. We hope that's definitely the plan. I mean, I'm hoping to come to New Zealand and tour before then. I'd really like to bring Shimon over. Shimon has never played New Zealand, and yet I know he is big in New Zealand. I know a lot of people support his tunes. And he just wants to see the country, you know, and I keep going on about it. So he wants to come over and meet all you guys. So I'm hoping we'll possibly get a tour before your winter is out. And then I'm going to move home. So
is that permanently? You're going to move back to New Zealand? You're going to become a Kiwi again, should we say?
I've never not been a Kiwi. I've always been a Kiwi, and I am proud to be a New Zealander. I'm very proud of my roots and where I come from. I can't wait to come back to New Zealand. I sort of feel like I love England and I am going to miss it, and I sort of feel like things are just sort of starting to really take off again here. But I don't know, there's a little bit of a longing in my heart, and I think after the devastation in Christchurch, especially a city that's very close to my heart, I sort of thought, right, that's definitely, I need to go home. I need to be with my people. Yeah, and my husband can't wait. He came to New Zealand when we got married, and he absolutely loves it and loves the people. So we think about you guys all the time over there, and we really look forward to it. So yeah, it'll be good.
I'm just going to quickly wrap it up. I've got 5 quick fire questions for you.
Okay.
You ready for them?
All these things always put me on the spot.
Yeah. Biggest crowd you've ever performed to?
Probably the Exit Festival, which I think was about 20,000, and we closed the festival, me, Roni Size and Dynamite, at sunrise. Pretty full on.
Massive. And your favourite track right now?
My favourite track right now is the Jamie XX remix of Adele, Rolling in the Deep. I absolutely love it. I play it all the time going to work. It's my little get my stomp on and go to work tune.
Awesome. And this one's not going to be a trick question. Who's going to win the Rugby World Cup this year?
New Zealand, duh. I mean, I'm not even saying that just to be patriotic. It's like, even my husband knows we're the best in the world. Come on.
Yeah, well, there's going to be rioting if we don't. I'm pretty sure of that.
No rioting.
Yeah, and your DJ producer that you'd love to work with in the future, maybe someone you've kind of idolised your whole career and never had the chance to meet?
Ooh, so many. Okay, well, I would love to work with Calibre, who is the UK producer. I just think he is awesome. I would love to do a house tune with Louis Vega because I love what he produces. I love all the soulful stuff he does. But I really, really hope I can come home to New Zealand and work with Kiki Tane because we've talked about it for years and we've never done it. And I'd love to work with Cora as well. I love those guys. They're amazing.
Awesome. And finally, advice for budding MCs like yourself, maybe even budding female MCs that may not have the guts to do what you've done?
Okay, I would say be unique, be yourself, but be unique. Find out what works for you, and really hone your craft and study your craft and practice and try and be as good as you can. And the best piece of advice I always get was you can't please all the people all the time, only some of the people some of the time. So, you know, don't worry about criticism and haters because you'll always get that. You need to just focus on making the music that you love and doing a good job at that. And also be open and treat everyone with respect, because you never know who you meet on the way up. You may meet you on the way down. So, yeah.
Awesome. And thank
my
you.
advice.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Natalia. We do look very forward to having you back in New Zealand, becoming one of our...
Oh, thanks.
And thank you very much for joining us on your Tuesday night.
No worries. Big ups to ups. And to all the Kiwi listeners, love you guys. And kia kaha, Christchurch.
Awesome. Thank you. And
bye-bye.
I will play... This is her new track from Ed Rush. It is on the album Summer, coming out on the 18th of April for vinyl and download. It is Ed Rush versus Tali. The track is called Dark Days. Turn this one up. You're on Up FM.
Should be, maybe you could come and get to know me. Cause here's what you might find. I don't trip out where I'm from, no. I'm just where I'm wrong, cause I'm already very down. My mind, you know, with emotion inside. Suddenly everything's right. I feel myself ignite. Dark days and nights and no sleep. I feel I'm digging in deep. It pushes me to the peak and loving lower. Dark days and nights and no sleep. We bounce and move down the street and smile at people we meet. Shoulder to shoulder, dark days and nights and no sleep. I feel I'm digging in deep. It pushes me to the peak and nothing lower. Dark days and nights and no sleep. We bounce and move down the street and smile at people we meet. Shoulder to shoulder, long days and no silent nights and no sleeping for nothing. No matter how hard you try, shoulder to shoulder.
One at 7.5. You're on the Toast Breakfast Show. It's got 18 to 9. Ed Rush versus MC Tali. The track is called Dark Days. What an absolute tune.